Hi friends, this is Rahul again here from GURUDEVA'S Academy, and today we have Rahul Ankam with us. Now Rahul is one of those gentlemen who not only got recommended once but got recommended twice. Initially for the NDA 148 naval entry that was from Bangalore, and recently he again made it for the technical entry scheme 47 from Allahabad. So it's a great privilege to have Rahul with us today, and we would like Rahul to share his SSB experience with us, mostly about his recent attempt that was for the technical entry scheme. So congratulations Rahul. First of all, I would like you to just give your intro, from where do you belong and from where have you done your education and everything. Yes.
First of all, thank you, sir. So my name is Rahul Ankam and I belong from Pune, Maharashtra, and I have completed my 12th in 2021, and I have scored almost 83% in my 12th standard.
Right.
And currently I am pursuing BA.
Okay, so Rahul, you got through both in your first as well as your second attempt for your SSB. Firstly, you made it through NDA. So was it the first time you had given the NDA written exam and you cleared it, or was it your later attempt? Yeah.
Sir, it was my third attempt. Initially 2 attempts I was not able to clear the written examination.
Okay, so this was your third written attempt.
Yes,
so
sir.
you cleared the written in your third attempt, and then you got recommended in your first SSB attempt for NDA 148. So we have heard about your NDA attempt. So this time we would be eager to know what happened in the technical entry scheme. So if you can just tell us, when was this attempt, and how many people came that day on the screening test, how many got screened in, which center, which board was it? Yeah, a little bit about the TES attempt.
So talking about my TES 47 attempt, so my SSB was on 6th of May at Allahabad center. So when I went there, the reporting was almost reporting 280 students came. So after screening test, 22 were screened in, and we were allotted 14 SSB Allahabad. So at last 2 got recommended from the entire 22.
Okay, so 22 had gone into the second stage and 2 were recommended. Okay, so before we get into the details of the 5-day procedure, when did you come here to GURUDEVA'S Academy?
I came here in GURUDEVA'S when in January I came here, 2nd of January. My 15 days course was there in GURUDEVA'S. So I learnt a lot of things here.
Okay, so this was before your NDA SSB attempt. Okay, so Rahul, as you said, 22 people got screened in. So as we know, there are 2 tests in the screening. First one is the OIR and second one is the PPDT. So if you can throw light, how many questions were there in the OIR, how many you were able to tackle, and then about PPDT, what happened, what was the picture that was shown to you, what did you do in the narration part and the discussion? Yes.
If I recollect my memories, in OIR there were 50 questions in first OIR, and in second test there were almost 40. So
how much time did you get allocated for the OIR test?
For the first one it was 30 minutes, and for the second one it was almost 25 minutes.
Okay, and how did you do in the OIR test?
So I performed well. I was prepared, so I completed all the questions in the both the OIR tests.
Okay, so were you practicing before your SSBs? Were you practicing solving the OIR questions on a regular basis, and which were the platforms that you used? Yeah?
Yes, sir. I practiced OIR. I was having one book. Also here, GURUDEVA'S, we were taught how to tackle the OIR questions. So I practiced that way.
So that went quite easy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after the OIR, immediately you must have gone for the PPDT.
Yes.
So if you can recall, what was the picture that was shown to you?
So the picture was a clear picture, and there were almost 7 to 8 characters there, and 1-2 characters were somewhat main characters. Like one lady was there, she was holding a cake, and another person was sitting on the table.
Okay.
So that was the
okay. So what did you perceive, and what was the story that you made?
Sir, I perceived that it was a school's or a college scene where the teacher, means a student, was giving a farewell to a teacher.
Okay.
That teacher was going for a further studies in PhD.
Okay.
So I wrote a story on that thing.
Right. So, what about the narration part? Were you able to complete your story in 1 minute time? Were you allocated the entire 1 minute time, or what happened in the narration?
Yes, sir. In my group, everyone was getting the time of almost 1 minute. But there were some people who were fumbling, so they didn't got the time. But when I started, my voice was loud, so the assessor gave me almost 1 minute. I was able to complete my entire story in that 1 minute.
Okay, so if you mean to say, if you are loud and if you have got that confidence
Yes.
in you, the assessor should give you the
Yes.
allocated 1 minute there. Okay, so then everyone must have narrated the story. Then what happened in the discussion? For how much time did the discussion carry on, and were you able to put in some points, and did your group reach to the final conclusion? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Our discussion started. So we all know, it is a tradition that there should be a fish market. So there was a fish market, but I was able to initiate. So I knew how to pitch in our thoughts. So I initiated, and I was along with the group. I was progressing the group, adding more points. There were some people who were stopping the group, but I was one who was progressing the group, selecting the theme and working upon that theme. And at last, we were able to come at the conclusion, and we have concluded the story.
Very nice, very nice. So your group was able to reach to the group story. So if you can remember your time here at GURUDEVA'S, did the practice session here of the PPDT, were it like similar that took place in your SSB, or did it help you, or was it totally different? What happened? Yeah.
So it was exactly similar, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever we have taught about the group discussion, whatever points we were taught, like how to speak, how to pitch in, how to find the gap. So all these points and tips were utmost important. Without that, I wouldn't be able to speak well in the group. So here in GURUDEVA'S, we were also taught that thing also. Another thing was, we were also taught about the body language. How should we express our views? How should we having our body language in the entire group discussion?
Right. As far as I remember, when you had come here initially, you were a very soft-spoken person. You did not give your points all the time. You were one of those person who liked to remain little silent for most of the time, but then as you, I think, kept progressing, I think you started speaking a lot, and of course that's why you have been able to get it into 2 recommendations there. So well done, Rahul, on that screening part. Then you said that 22 of you got into the second stage. So how many groups were formed for the GTO series? And before we go to the GTO, what happened on the second day, that is the psychology day? How many stories you wrote, how many words you wrote, how many SRT answers were you able to give, and were you able to complete the self-description test? Yes, on the psychology day.
Okay, sir. Talking about psychology, I practiced a lot of pictures before I going to my SSB, 2 SSBs. So it was almost lot of preparation stint I got, and I have prepared very well in that time. So when I was in the SSB for my second attempt, at that time I was able to complete all my stories. I was able to write all the stories with proper actions, with proper steps. So it was easy for me.
So you completed all the 12
sir.
stories.
Yeah,
okay,
yes, of course.
okay, very nice. Then what about words? Did you complete all the words, or were there some words that you were not able to write a sentence upon?
So I completed all the 60 words there.
Okay,
and
very
in
nice.
SRT also I completed all the 60 SRTs.
Oh, so you did all the 12 stories, 60 words and 60
60
SRTs, and I'm sure you must have completed the SDT also.
Yes.
So how did it happen, Rahul? Because very few people are able to complete all the psychology tests in time. So how did you manage to do all this? Yeah.
Sir, I think my preparation, whatever I learned here in GURUDEVA'S, initially when I was preparing for my SSB, at that time I didn't took coaching for 15 days. So I have done a lot of mistakes in those time when I was preparing in those 15 days. So whatever mistakes I have done, I came to GURUDEVA'S, I improved on that mistakes. I got to know about where I was going wrong, where my shortcomings are. So here teachers helped me. Here teachers taught me what are the tips, how to go along with your stories, how to write WATs, how to write SRTs. So I worked upon all those things. After
Right.
that, after completing from here, I went home and practiced lot of
Yeah, that's where I was
features.
coming. Only taking coaching, I don't think is sufficient. After going from here, I think you must have put in a lot of efforts. Yeah.
Yes, sir. After going from here, I improved. Like I have done a lot of practice for my psych also at home. Practice lot of pictures. Practice lot of SRTs and WATs. So I was able to complete all the 60 WATs and 60 SRTs.
Right. So as the old saying goes, practice makes one perfect.
Yes,
I think that's the thing that you applied in your daily life. Wonderful. So psychology was quite easy as you said. Then you can go on the GTO 1, that was day 3 of your SSB. What was the strength of your group? And then if you can tell in brief about what were the group discussion topics that were there and how did you fare in the GD? Yeah.
Okay, sir. So as we were 22 screened in, we were made into 3 groups, 7, 7 and 8. So I was in the third group, which consists of 8 members. So starting from my GD, there were 2 topics. First of all, they gave us 2 topics, and we have immediately selected one, and the topic was growing China's influence. India should focus on what sector, means what thing.
Okay.
The leads were trade, bilateral relations, and third one was military. So I focused on military at that time, and our second group discussion was in this youth, means youth are influenced by whom? Friends, celebrities or parents. Our second group discussion topic was that.
Okay, so were you able to give points in both the group discussions, or how did the GD went?
Sir, I was able to give points very well in the 2 group discussions, like giving examples, taking our lead forward, and explaining everyone what my lead is. That was the most important thing. I was able to explain very well in a very very fluent and in a very basic language. I was able to explain about my leads in the very 2 discussions, and I was able to give a lot of many points there.
Okay, okay. So after the GD, there must have been the group planning exercise.
Yes, sir.
If you can just in short tell us, did you face any problem in the GPE? Did it go smoothly, or how was the overall experience there in the GPE?
So talking about GPE, we were given a plan. We were given a map. So we have to write our own plan. I was able to write my own plan as told by here at GURUDEVA'S. We were able to, means they taught us how to write our own plan. Whatever tricks and tips they have told us, I followed all them, and I wrote my entire plan. After writing plan, we were able, group discussion was there. So in group discussion also, I was able to pitch in my points. I was able to influence my group, like lead my group. There were some people, members who were just stopping the group or just adding obstacles to the group. At that time, I was able to lead the group and progress it. So we were able to conclude the entire plan. After that, I was selected for the common group plan.
Very nice. You were the one who
Yes,
summarized the final group plan. Okay, fine. I think after this you must have gone for the progressive group task.
Yes,
so if you can in combination tell us about your PGT, your HGT, your FGT, and in your command task, were you able to give ideas, or how did you perform in all the ground activities? Yeah.
So the teachings given here at GURUDEVA'S about GTO, that were very utmost important and very important for my performance there, because I was told about the tricks, how should we go along with the obstacles. Initially they didn't give us solution, they asked us solution, but whatever we were doing mistakes, they improved us there. So in my SSB also, in PGT also, I was able to lead my group. I was able to take my group along with me. I was asking solutions also from my members. They here in GURUDEVA'S, they also taught us how to communicate with our entire group mates. So I was able to communicate. We were doing less mistakes and progressing our group. So we were able to complete our entire PGT.
Okay, okay, okay.
And in talking about HGT, as our group was divided, in HGT also I was able to give my points and lead my group. So in CT, command task, my command task, initially there was a interview taken by the GTO.
Yeah,
so,
which generally happens.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So what did the GTO ask you during the command task?
So my interview went, it was about almost 10 to 15 minutes. So he asked me various points. So Rahul, from where are you? Asked me that you got recommended previously. So tell me about Navy, why you are opting for Navy? Now you are coming for Army, what's the reason? So he asked me various points there. He also asked me why you choose BA, or why what are you currently doing. So this whole interview took around 15 minutes.
Okay,
So it went for
okay. And
15
then
minutes.
coming to the task, were you able to give solutions in the command task?
Yeah.
Was it pretty easy and the GTO just took one solution from you, or he made it difficult for you? Yeah.
Sir, it was difficult, but through my practice it became easy. So we were having 3 rows, means it was a very big command task, and GTO was continuously pressurizing me. He was asking me questions, he was asking me time, he was asking me tell me the half of that time. So 15 minutes was the time. So he asked me what is the half of it. So I told about 7.5 minutes. So he also asked me about tell me it in seconds. So he was just continuously pressurizing me. He was asking me solution until the obstacle completes all the solutions. I knew there is no solution about this obstacle. So I have to step back. Again I have to go around with another obstacle. So he asked me, continuously asking me solutions, giving me various situations, telling me about this has become red, this has become blue. So, but teachings here had made me somewhat confident enough, and I was able to complete all the obstacles.
Right. Fine. So all the practice that we did in the ground task came to you of some help,
Yes, sir.
definitely. Okay, right. Talking about the physical aspect, Rahul, how did you do in the group obstacle race and the individual obstacles? Yeah.
So talking about group obstacle race, it was one of the Josh field exercise in the entire SSB, where we have to show our Josh, where we have to take our group from starting point to end point. So I was able to show my Josh, I was able to cooperate with my group members. There were some somewhat means heavy people, like they were not able to complete the obstacles. So we were trying, we were helping them out, we were motivating them to complete the task. So I was able to complete my GOR very well. And talking about my individual obstacles, as the GTO was telling us about the explaining about the task. So at that time I made my path and I went along with my path. So I was able to complete my 13 obstacles there.
Okay.
In
So
3
you
weeks. Repeated, yes, sir.
repeated 3 of them.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Right, Rahul. Now we would like to know about little bit about your personal interview. What type of questions did he ask you? For what duration did this interview last for? Yeah.
So sir,
And when was it conducted?
okay sir. So my interview conducted on the GTO day 2.
So 4th day of your SSC.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
GTO day 2. So my interview went very well. The IO was asking me varied questions, starting from my educational background, how did I got recommended, what made me get recommended. So he was asking me about parents, on all those things, basic questions, and asked me about army and navy difference, why you are choosing navy. So he asked me varied questions where I was able to give proper answers because of the teachings here. Whatever teaching I got in GURUDEVA'S, I followed it rigorously, I followed it very well, and I think because of it I was able to perform well in my personal interview.
Right. So just wrapping it up with your conference, were there some things that were asked to you in the conference, or was it just a simple come and go session? Yeah.
Sir, it was exactly a simple session because I waited outside just 1 minute, and after I went there, my conference just lasted for 1 minute. He asked me questions about you got recommended previously, so compare your performance. He also asked me about what you will choose, NDA or OTA Gaya. He also asked me about whom you will recommend, and basic questions.
Right. And finally, as we know that 2 from the 22 were recommended. So were these 2 from your 8 or was one from other batch of 7? Yeah.
So from my GTO group, from 8, I alone got recommended,
Okay.
and from first group, 1 got recommended.
Wonderful, Rahul. So we will end this session by definitely wanting to know from you, firstly, anything you would like to tell all the NDA and the TES aspirants about how to go about their preparation, and any major difference that you spotted in your first NDA attempt, Navy attempt that was, and the Army attempt, or was it similar, or did you find one very easy or one very difficult, or anything like that you would like to tell all the boys here? Yeah.
So friends, everyone can, if I can crack SSB, if I can get recommend, so everyone can get recommend. Just you have to get a proper place where you should be trained, where you should be, find out your weaknesses and strength. I was knowing my weakness and my strength. I worked upon it. I built my confidence. Initially, I was having stage fear and I was not able to communicate in my English language. So when I started preparing, when I started working upon it, I was able to clear all those obstacles which I was facing. And talking about the SSB of NDA as well as TES, there is no difference. Means there must be a difference. But if you will be prepared well, then no one can stop you. It may be a 300 people, then alone you can get recommend. If you have all those OLQs, if you have practiced very well, if you have good communication skills, then you can get recommend.
Right, very, very nicely spoken, Rahul. So just one last question, that where would you like to go? But if you, I'm sure first of all that you will, NDA merit list will be arriving very soon and TS in another month or so, and I'm sure that you will get into the merit of both the lists there. So I can take a guess about your answer, but which would be the stream area where you would like to go? Yeah.
So I will definitely join National Defence Academy, and as my opted or as my priority is Navy, so I'm seeing forward to join Indian Navy.
Wonderful, Rahul. It was simply superb having you here. We wish to see you soon again in the naval uniform, and all the best for the NDA as well as the technical entry scheme merit list.
Thank you, sir.